I mean, come on, just look at it. Why wouldn't you need an iPhone? If you love Apple, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. What is going on, guys? Apple World here, and welcome to another episode on the Why You Need series, the series where I convince you, or try to convince you, for you to get a certain product or a certain service surrounding the world of Apple. Now, for today's episode is why you need an iPhone. Now, last week I made the why you need an iPhone XR. Today is not why you need the iPhone XS or the iPhone SE. All iPhones in general. I wanted to try to convince you why you should leave your Android and switch to iPhone. Now, I know this is a really delicate subject, and I wanted to start off the video by saying I actually like Android. I love Android. I've actually been using the Pixel 3 for 2 weeks now. As you guys have seen on Twitter, I've actually been tweeting with Android, so I don't mind Android. And I love testing out Android because I love seeing what the weaknesses are from Android that iOS does so much better, and the other way around. There's some things that Android does so much better than iOS. But anyways, for today's video, I wanted to convince you, as I said, why you should switch your Android device and switch to the iPhone, because in my opinion the iPhone is so much better than Android. Now, this for me, by no means I'm saying that Android sucks, by no means I'm saying that Android is so much better. I mean, I technically did. I guess Android is not for me. I love Android and I love using it, but it's not for me on my day-to-day basis. Now, let's go ahead and start off the video by saying how smooth the iPhone, how smooth iOS actually is. I mean, animations between just simply scrolling through apps, swiping up, going through the notification center, whenever you're on Twitter, for example, everything is so smooth. On Instagram, simply scrolling is so incredibly smooth. On Android, it doesn't feel as smooth. Android is pretty smooth, but it does not feel as smooth as iOS. That's one thing that I really like about the iPhone, how smooth everything really is. And that actually gets me to my next point. Simplicity. The iPhone is driven by simplicity. If you give an iPhone to a person that has never used an iPhone, he will be able to use it because it is simply so simple to use. Apple has built the iPhone just for that, because anybody can use an iPhone. Android, it's awesome, and it is so complex that it's more complex to use. Android probably has more features than iOS because it's such a complex software. There's so many things you can do with Android. You can customize it to look however you want. Apple has made the iPhone not for you to, to play around with it. Apple has made iOS like it's done. It's a final software and it's so simple to use. If you give this phone to your grandma's probably gonna know how to use the iPhone because it's so intuitive and so simple to use. Now, iCloud. Why are all the Apple fanboys talking about iCloud? What is the big deal on iCloud? Well, it simply works, and that's all I want. I've got all of my photos, for example. Here, look at this. Check this out. I've got 31,000 photos on iCloud, which is insane. I've got all the photos since I was actually born, since I was a little kid. I've got all of my photos, and they're all simply organized in the Photos app on my iPhone. So iCloud simply works so well. If I take a photo on my iPhone, it will be directly on my iPad and on my iMac. So the ecosystem works so well. Don't really want to get into the ecosystem because that's a whole separate video, but just to let you guys know that Apple's ecosystem works so well between each other. Now, one thing that I don't really like about Android is the App Store. The App Store on Android is not too good. On iOS, it is so incredibly good, and especially on the iPad. I mean, the App Store on the iPad is amazing. There's not really, on Android, there aren't really good apps for Android tablets. But anyways, we're talking about the iPhone. And the App Store on the iPhone is great as well. And the App Store is so secure as well. On Android, if you wanna build an app and put it on the Android's Play Store, Android is going to accept it because Android accepts any apps. Apple, instead, is a little bit more selective on the apps that are in the App Store because Apple takes privacy and security it's really important for them, right? So that's something really important to notice because all the apps that you download on your iPhone are going to be so incredibly secure, and nobody will steal your data. It's just secure, and there's so many good apps that you can actually find, and Apple recommends you so many apps every single week. So the App Store is simply a great experience on the iPhone, and it's something that I didn't really enjoy on Android. Now, if you're watching this video, you probably love Android, right? That's okay. You can like Android, but do you know what an update is? you probably don't, because on Android, you don't really get a lot of updates. And on the iPhone, we get updates. We get massive updates every single year. I mean, we get a bunch of updates throughout the year, which, you know, solve a bunch of bug fixes with the iPhone. But we get one big feature like overhaul every single year. We get iOS 11, iOS 12, iOS 13, and it's simply awesome because whenever a new software update comes, it feels like you're getting a new phone. I mean, there's so many new features, so many awesome. I mean, it's just a thing that I can't even begin to understand how Android doesn't have software updates. I mean, that's a thing that must suck for you. So come on, switch to iPhone. I know you want to. Now do me a favor and just look at this. This is the brand new iPhone XS, or for example, this is the iPhone SE. All iPhones are such good quality. They feel premium and they're honestly pretty beautiful. I can understand they are overpriced, but all the features, everything that I'm going to say in this video, in my opinion, make the iPhone so worth it. And apart from that, of course, the iPhone simply looks beautiful. On the iPhone XS, for example, we're getting stainless steel borders, glass back. In this example right here, we got a gold color. So in my opinion, iPhone simply looks so much better than any other phone. Now, I'm not really saying that the iPhone is the best looking phone out there, which in my opinion it is, but the Samsung Galaxy S10, for example, it looks really good as well. But I'm just saying, I don't really want to compare it to other phones. I'm just saying that the iPhones look really good. Now, I've tested out augmented reality on the Samsung Galaxy S9 and on the Google Pixel 3, but they aren't as good as in the iPhone. AR on the iPhone, and especially on the iPhone XS, works so well. I mean, it's insane how well it actually works. I'm personally a Pokemon Go player still. Yes, I still play Pokemon Go. Let me know in the comments down below if you still play Pokemon Go. I'm a big Pokemon Go fan, and AR is absolutely a big deal for me. And with the iPhone XS, it's a no-brainer. I mean, it's kind of laggy on the Google Pixel 3. It was okay on the Samsung Galaxy S9. We'll see on the Samsung Galaxy S10, which I'm actually receiving that next week, so get excited for those videos. But AR on the iPhone is exceptional. Now, as I said, I don't really want to get into Apple's ecosystem, but I'm just going to mention it really briefly. iPhone means iMessage. iMessage is such a big deal for me. It's something I just simply can't live without. With the Google Pixel 3, I missed iMessage so much. Now, what's the big deal on iMessage, and why are all the Apple fans and Apple fanboys and Apple sheeps talking about iMessage all the time? What's the big deal about iMessage? First of all, iMessage is free, so texting is free, but I'm sure with your carriers, it's pretty much free as well. But the big deal on iMessage is that it's fun to use, it's simple to use, and I've got iMessage on my Apple Watch. I've got iMessage on my iPad. I've got iMessage, for example, maybe on my other iPhone, on my Mac, on my MacBook, on my iMac. So I've got iMessage everywhere I go. With other messaging platforms, which on Android, you guys don't really have one. I guess WhatsApp, we could talk about WhatsApp, for example. There's not really a WhatsApp app on the Apple Watch, on the iPad. There is kind of WhatsApp web on the Mac, but you know what I mean? There isn't an ecosystem with a messaging platform on Android. Now, FaceTime, for example. I can't live without FaceTime. All my friends use FaceTime and it works so incredibly well. But Nikias, on Android, for example, we have Google Hangouts. Sure you do. And it works awesome. I love Google Hangouts and I use it a lot with when I'm streaming as well. So FaceTime is different. It's like iMessage. Since all the ecosystem actually has FaceTime, since most people use FaceTime and it works so incredibly well, FaceTime is a must-have when you're using the iPhone. And same with FaceTime audio. And if we're talking about the ecosystem, let's talk about the AirPods as well, right? AirPods, I mean, what to say about the AirPods? There's AirPods everywhere. Why is everybody using AirPods? It's really simple. It's simplicity. With AirPods, you simply turn them on and they connect immediately to the iPhone. That's it. No hassle. Now, Samsung has just done this with the Galaxy Buds, which I'm really excited to try out. Now, everybody's copying the iPhone, but it's so simple to use. I love my AirPods. You just open up the case and that's it. And that's how I would describe the iPhone. You just start using it. Same with the AirPods, same with the Apple Watch, same with the iPhone. Apple in general is so simple and everything is driven by this beautiful simplicity, which simply makes you enjoy all the products that you love actually using. Now let's talk about AirDrop, because let's say you take a photo on the iPhone, right? You're taking a photo on this iPhone, then you want to transfer it to your other iPhone, or maybe you want to transfer it to your iPad. Well, with AirDrop, you simply tap on the photo that you want, you select the person that you want to share it to, and that's it. It's Bluetooth, and it works so incredibly well. It's so simple. It's such a simple idea, and I honestly have no idea why Samsung, for example, has not done anything like this. They've tried to do some things, but it doesn't work as well as AirDrop. So AirDrop is such a big deal for me and for most iPhone users, and it's something you should definitely consider, because it's not even about one photo. You can literally share 50 photos or 100 photos, and it's probably going to transfer in 30 seconds, which is insanely fast. So AirDrop is another must-have. So I've got two more key features that make the iPhone special. The Apple Store. If you have a problem with your iPhone, you can simply go to the Apple Store, and they will probably most likely fix whatever is going on, whether it's software or hardware. This is something that doesn't really happen with Android. For example, Samsung, for example, if you buy a Samsung phone, there isn't, in Barcelona at least, for example, there isn't really a lot of Samsung stores in Barcelona, and probably in the US, there might be some, but there definitely isn't too many Samsung stores. So customer service on Apple is exceptional. So it's definitely something you should consider as well. And the last thing that I wanted to mention in the video is, let's say I just bought the iPhone XS and I've got my old iPhone SE. The iPhone SE is worth a lot of money compared to an old Android device. So if you're trying to sell an iPhone, it's worth so much more money than an old Android phone. So if money is a big deal for you, and if you're probably gonna end up selling the iPhone in an upgrade from a few years from now, the iPhone is going to be so much better worth than your Android. So it's another thing that you should definitely consider. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully I convinced you, and hopefully I gave you enough features for you to switch from Android to the iPhone. It's honestly a great experience. If you've never used an iPhone ever in your life, maybe I'm not even telling you to switch completely. I'm just telling you, maybe buy an iPhone SE, because it's a great way to get you started on iOS, and you will understand how great and how awesome Apple's ecosystem and how great the iPhone actually is. So let me know in the comments down below what iPhone or what phone or what are you using right now in the comment section down below. I'm interested. And if you're coming from Android, maybe don't let me know if I convinced you, but let me know if the points that I gave you are actually valid. Maybe some of them are not valid. Let me know. Let's go ahead and have a party down in the comment section down below. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video, which is actually why you need an iPhone SE in 2019. Peace.